Hello everybody, it is time to do an end of the month, end of the year review. Granted, there are 2 days left in December, but I know between tomorrow and the next, Saturday and Sunday, I have a party Sunday night that we're throwing, and Saturday is just going to be too much and everything. So I want to do it now because aside from maybe getting a video or two out, I really don't think a whole lot's going to change. I know I didn't do an end of November review. Let's chat. Goal number 1 for 2023 was to put out 104 videos on YouTube. At the end of the year, will have between 73 and 74. This does not include shorts, which I did dabble in a little bit this year. I would say that I probably have like 3 dozen shorts or so that I put out this year. I'd be surprised if it was more than that, but it could be more or less. So I'd say my total number of videos did probably reach 104. However, I did mean like full 15-minute type long form videos, not short form. With the intent of this goal, it was to put out long form videos. And then I basically took off half of September, all of October, and most of November. I think, if I'm remembering correctly. I just didn't do anything. I don't know what happened there, but I was not in a place to do anything. I feel like that part of the year always gets like that for me. That's a reality that I have to learn how to deal with, that I now realize is actually a serious problem and not just like mid-year slump. So I'm going to work on that. However, as far as goal 1 goes, I'm going to say that I actually completed this goal. Let me go and check and just count how many shorts I put out. I actually put out 50 shorts this year, which is insane, but I love that. And 73 videos for 2023. So my total number of videos that I put out on YouTube, including long form and short form, is 123 videos. And I may even sneak in another short or two. I'm very proud of that number. That's past the goal. And since shorts take a lot less effort, I'm going to say I've met this goal because I did put out like about 20 more than the goal. So I'll say that that's fairly equivalent. So I'm proud of that, actually. Number 2 was to settle into being a mom of 2. I feel great about it. I feel great about our routine when we're able to be home. I'm ready. I feel great. I'm very thankful for that, but I do feel good about it. Obviously, there are up and down days and there are negative and hard parts, but generally, the overall, I feel like we have a pretty good routine. We just are good. So that goal is complete. Goal number 3 is to keep a general meal planning habit. Almost every single week out of this year, we meal planned, and I would say for the second half of the year, we hardly went out to eat after not the second half of the year. After August, we hardly went out to eat at all for the remainder of the year. And it was very generally week to week, we'd have 1 week where we were eating out really randomly, but generally just ate at home, did stuff at home, felt very good. The habit was there. It's a part of the routine now, which is great. Number 4, start writing again. This was not with any expectations of how frequently or when or why or how or anything like that. And I did start riding again, horseback riding again. And so this goal was accomplished very early in the year, in fact. I haven't ridden in a while. I think September I stopped. In August was my last ride. But I rode through most of the summer, on and off. So I would say not only is this goal accomplished, I feel good about that. Because it was the first time I had taken consistent lessons since before I was married. And it was great because my kids got to go hang out with my husband's side of the family, and some of his family members watched them, and it was just really great. In the coming year, it's not necessarily on my goal list, but unofficially, I am going to be trying to take Gabriel out to do the barn payment and all that kind of stuff. He really enjoyed being there the other day when I had to go drop off the farrier check. Number 5, pick a new focus novel. The new focus novel that I picked was The Pregnancy Letters, Blessings in Disguise. And I did work on that for a little bit this year. I also worked a lot on book 2 from my 5-part series called Just Your Typical Super Spy. The second novel is called Fire and Ice, Mission Number 1. I worked on that one. Probably a lot more than my focus novel, but those 2 have been up all year, and I've been working on them, so I'm just excited about it. It feels good. And then tonight, this is kind of like a side note, but hopefully I'll be getting to go work more on it in a little bit more focused setting. But when we went on vacation this year, I got to rediscover like my real like drive with writing, and it felt good. I'm very happy about completing that goal. Number 6 was to post stories on Insta 3 times a week on average. I posted almost every single day for a little while there at the beginning of the year. And there were some weeks where I feel like I did not meet the 3 times a week goal, but generally, like if you totaled it all up and averaged it out, it'd be like 4 times a week that I probably posted on average, including the weeks that I didn't post at all. But it was very consistent. It was very good. I'm very excited about that. Goal number 7 was to pay off all of our medical bills. One thing with this goal is that we did get half of it done. So like 1 out of 2, there were 2 separate payment plans, I guess I should say. And although at any point in time we could have just like paid it all off, I wanted to like write out the payment plan so that we could, work on stuff with the house and just other things that we had going on. The reason that we didn't end up completing this goal, or rather that we only did half of it, is because one of the payment like plans that we had set up was supposed to finish out in November of this year. But after I set up the initial payment plan, another part of the bill processed, and we had more to pay. And so even if we were like to readjust it and have like a readjusted rate, it still didn't time out where they gave us the option to pay it off this year, which was really irritating. And then something happened. I don't remember what it was, but in November something went wrong and it just canceled the plan. Like the payment plan like totally canceled it. So we didn't make a payment that month, and I was like, I don't understand what's happening. So then we reinstated it in December, but it'll be finished in 2024, which is really irritating. But most of that wasn't our fault. And I knew early this year that it wasn't going to happen, but it was just really annoying. So I'm still fairly proud of this because it was half completed. Number 8, building our emergency savings fund was a goal for this year. And because we ended up remodeling the house and doing a bunch of things that my sister got married and stuff that I didn't anticipate at the beginning of the year. I should have known, but I didn't anticipate it happening like I should have. So we weren't able to build our emergency savings fund, which is really unfortunate. But we were able to put back some of our cash stash funds and like different emergency funds that we have, but not the overall like what if Gregory loses his job for 3 to 6 months kind of thing. We were only really able to do some of the smaller funds, like our cash stashes and things like that. So with this one, it's very nondescript. The initial thought that I had was not complete. However, I am going to say that we completed this goal this year because we did pay back some of our emergency funds, like our smaller ones, to set us up for success in the new year, which is very exciting because I didn't think we would be able to end up doing that. So, very exciting. Number 9 was to complete and book, so between booking and completing 5 more weddings for 2023. I booked 5 more weddings, and I completed all of my 2023 weddings. So, this goal was complete. I do have 3 already booked for next year. I am not open for bookings after September. So from October to December, I'm not taking any clients next year, but I am prior to that all year. So I am also thinking that next year, starting like in the new year, I am going to start paying for advertising and potentially do more with that. So I'm very excited to kind of like do more in 2024. I did a light year this year, and it was very enjoyable to take it easy, but next year I'm excited to like try and ramp it up a little bit more. The other thing that I'm going to do potentially that I'm thinking about doing is seeing if someone wants to work with me on it. I love going to weddings. I love doing my job. It's just hard to be away from my kids, even though I know I need that and I do really enjoy it. It's just because it's not consistent enough. I feel like I hate missing out on the weekend when my husband is home or whatever it is. That just, I don't know what it is about it. That always makes me like I don't know how I feel. So I might be taking someone on as to offer like extra weekends to people and things like that, and to be able to take on more clients. So making big moves in the coming year. Number 10 was to buy a house. We bought a house this year and I was so happy. We love it here. It's been amazing. I can't wait for 2024 and to have just like a whole uninterrupted year in our house. My husband and I kept talking about how like we're finally gonna have like a Minnesota summer this year, because we love taking like big trips out of state and like going on vacation and whatever in the summer, and it's great. But with moving and everything like that, we really didn't even get to enjoy and the weddings and the parties and all that. We didn't get to enjoy what summer is in Minnesota, what summer is at our place. On the whole, like going out on weekends and doing things like that and all that good stuff. So this year, we're very excited to like just be home. We don't have a big vacation planned for this year. We have a couple of smaller vacations planned. We don't have them planned. Like nothing is really booked, except I am taking one in January, which I'll talk about. But after that, we don't have anything booked. It's more of just like a general guideline, like, okay, this is what we're going to be doing each month kind of thing. Buying a house, complete. Number 11, taking our couples vacation. We completed this one and it was so fun and enjoyable. There were some not enjoyable parts, which I think everything has in life, but on the whole, it was really great and really enjoyable and just like so fun. Number 12 was to either start or prepare our pumpkin patch. Prepare for. So I have like on my notes, like, what did I do for this? I'm not 100% sure. So this summer we didn't have our pumpkin patch. We had the opportunity to plant, but we had a farmer come in and plant and rent out our back acreage. And that's what we did this summer, so we weren't able to have a pumpkin patch. Then we realized that there is a pumpkin patch really not far from us, and I have no desire to take over their business. I love the idea of having the pumpkin patch and everything that theirs is amazing. But I think that we're going to go more in the apple orchard direction and make it a longer term plan, like apple orchard and events kind of situation. One home plan that we have for in like probably a 5 to 8 year time span is to put in a 60 by 60, maybe a little bit bigger, maybe a little smaller, Quonset, Keenset, however you pronounce it. I'll put in a picture here. It's like those rounded topped buildings. Do cement, like cement floors, lighting in there, and heat AC like a unit. And also I would like to run plumbing in there to do a bathroom, or do like fancy composting toilets where it's a composting toilet but it has a tank, so it's like just a fancy porta potty, and it flushes the like sucks it up into the like tank, and then you empty the tank, similar to like how a RV works, so you don't have to have like running water out there. You can have a water tank that you fill. The place that I got that, like, we could have running water out there. That would be great eventually, but I think that would be more reasonable for what we've got going on. So there's still like fancy, nice bathroom facilities, running water and everything like that, without having to drill a secondary well. But we'll see. Just with the capacity and everything, we might want to do a secondary well anyway. And then we would have to have basically like a, what are they called? Porta potty company come in and pump it regularly anyway. So I'm kind of thinking like maybe we just rent porta potties for a little while, like the fancy ones on the trailer. I don't know, we'll see. But eventually we'd like to have that as a event space to do things at. I don't necessarily think we'll market for weddings. I wouldn't be totally opposed to having weddings, but I don't think we'll market for weddings. I think we'll market more for other things, literally anything else. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then build the apple orchard. I'd like to do some stuff on that this year. We'll see how that, like, what's in our financial future. My parents apparently have a ton of apples that they want to just go plant in our yard, like a bunch of apple seeds. And I was like, I can't guarantee that's going to work, but go for it. Like, sure, let's do that. Because of all of that and the shift and everything, this goal was not complete. But at the same time, it kind of was, because we won't be doing a pumpkin patch anymore. I will probably be advocating for planting a small grouping of pumpkins to use for like decoration, and if people do want to buy pumpkins, like, sure, but I'm not going to do the whole go out and pick your own pumpkin, that kind of thing. It'll be more of like, hey, come here after the pumpkin patch season, basically, for the apple orchards and events. Because I'd rather work with the other local businesses than try and compete against them, especially when they're established like 20 some years or 15 years or whatever, and I'm not, like, and my son loves the pumpkin patch. So I just think that that's more like up our alley, and it's something we wanted to do anyway, and there isn't an apple orchard anywhere nearby that I can find. There's a couple of tree farms, but not apple orchards, so I am really excited to kind of pursue that instead. So technically this goal was not completed, but at the same time we're kind of moving away from it, which I didn't anticipate, so it's done. Number 13, commit to a weekly faith routine. I have this done. Can I explicitly tell you what it is? Kind of. Saying prayers every day, obviously, and explicitly like night prayers with Gabriel, meal prayers. I'm trying to, on average, every day, listen to Catechism in a Year, which is a daily podcast. And then obviously, church every week. Starting with the Catechism and building that into like my brain, I think will help me to do a little bit of Bible study more easily. But I'll touch on that later. Edit at least half of Just Your Typical Super Spy. I think I got like maybe a chapter into it. So that was not completed. I did start editing it though. My attempted goal was for half, but that was in parentheses. While I would love to say that I didn't complete this goal, technically I did start editing it. So complete, goal complete. Not completely edited though, to be clear. Although I would like to complete it this year. I am very excited about that so I can get it published. Number 15, and finally, is to journal at least once a month. I kind of shifted this into 12 journal entries. I did not journal every single month, but I did make 12 journal entries periodically. They weren't like all in one day or something like that to try and catch up on work or whatever. I journaled when I felt like it. I journaled 12 times, and I feel good about that goal being accomplished. So that is the review of 2023 goals. I would say I maybe didn't accomplish 2 goals, but in my mind, because goals are meant to shift and change, I got them all. And I feel good about that. And I think that, sometimes we're tempted to go, well, you didn't do exactly what you said you set out to do at the beginning of the year. Sure. But that's not the point. The point is to give myself something to strive for and modify that based on what the reality of life is for us. And sometimes we as people on the internet or whatever, there's this kind of perception that like, well, they didn't do exactly what they said they were going to do. So they can't be proud of themselves. They can't be happy about this accomplishment. They didn't actually do what they said they were going to do. I mean, if you want to look at it that way, there's no reason that you can't. That's your personal opinion. You can go for it. But at the same time, you have to know that we are not meant to not change, to not be flexible. Goals are meant to grow. Goals are meant to change and be modified based on what we need in life. And part of the thing that I set out to show is that, it makes me feel good to say I've accomplished these goals. Obviously, I want to strive for the top tier, best of the best and the best and beyond. And sometimes I get that. Like with this house, not only did we buy the house, we remodeled the house, we did a lot of it ourselves. We didn't take on a ton of debt to do it. Like all this different stuff that way up and above and beyond what I expected when I wanted to buy a house this year. Some things, like editing my book, I did edit some of it. Was it the half or whole book that I wished I would have gotten? No. Oh well, it's okay. And we need to, as people, be a little bit easier on ourselves and say it's okay to, make those goals change for what is realistic for us in that year. So I'm proud of myself because in my mind, all my goals were accomplished. And that's not me sugarcoating it for myself. It's saying those goals changed a little bit. They were modified a little bit. And I got what I needed to out of every single goal this year. And that in and of itself makes me proud.
Love, Genevieve.